Okay, this is start 2. I had to quit. I started sneezing. My nose started running. I'm like, oh my goodness. I need to stop and restart again. Because so started the reading. The first card out I had was the Salamander. Mindfulness. Okay. If you start becoming mindful, then you can start to observe what the mind is full of. Okay. Mindful just really hit me this morning. Say, the divided mind, the mind that is full of wanting to create and, latch on to, cling to, push away, all of that drama. One can begin to see if they are mindful. Mindful means starting to do one thing at a time rather than trying to multitask and do this and do that, and then you're not conscious. Mindful is starting to be consciously aware of what is around you, what you are engaging, how you are engaging, how these things are working together or not working together, as the case may be. So, Salamander. Poor little Salamander is going through the fire at the moment. Okay, hot times. So, we're visiting Mr. Salamander today. Next card out was Great Teacher. Great Teacher. Isn't that lovely? He's got the dove there. But learn from spiritual experiences. Well, all of life is a spiritual experience if you are in the mind of sacredness. Now, that's what I teach on my path, is you have to live from honesty, integrity, transparency, sacredness. I'm going to add another one, simplicity. Simplicity as well. Bring it down to the most simple level. If you do that, there's nothing that's going to come back on you. Okay, it's very simple to remember the truth. If you are someone like Trump and you're lying, they have to remember the story, and it keeps changing because it's not true, it's not honest. But again, if you are mindful, start slowing down, seeing the sacredness of life. If you live your life as being aware that, like God said to Moses, where you stand is holy ground. Wherever you're at, God is not more in one place than another. That's just men's attention that thinks God is more in this place or that place. But God is equally everywhere. So every place you are is sacred if you come into the mind of sacredness. Okay, so you learn from spiritual experiences, and all of life is a spiritual experience if you put this your mind to that. If people live from a space of sacredness, you wouldn't have as much problem with things like porn and all of these things that have become so degraded, wanting to chase these games that are all about killing, and it would be really shifts that could take place. So start to develop the mind of sacredness. Next is friction. This is the first time this card's ever come up. Friction. Okay. When something's coming up and there's friction, stop, take a breath, look at it, and see what is it that's coming up that is causing friction. Okay. Something is touching your oh so very important ego. Okay. I want. Wah, wah, wah. Friction. Wah, I didn't get. I want, I need, I. Okay, so look and find out what the friction is and what that holding to that solid point of not wanting to go with the flow is causing that friction and pain and drama in your life. Okay, so what is it that is causing friction? Does it really need to be there? You really need to be that caught up in it. Can you back off of it? Okay. Next is waterfall, effortless. Okay. Can you be like the water? Like I said, you get friction, that's something, then you are not like the waterfall. You are not being effortless. You are not flowing in the path of least resistance. Waterfalls don't go uphill. Okay, they're not ego driven, they don't go uphill. They go in the path of least resistance. And when that would go in the path of least resistance, then it becomes, what's that word? Effortless. It becomes effortless. So go in the path of least resistance. Now, that might not always be the path that ego really would want to take. It's going to maybe take some adjustments, stepping back and going, well, okay, maybe something is more for the betterment of people, everyone, than it is for just your singular ideation. And you may have to put your singular ideation of wants and dramas on a back burner to go with the path of least resistance. Okay. Next we have, these cards are so fun. Celebrate. She's standing on her pink Cadillac. Celebrating, dancing, enjoying. Okay. So also you need to take some time for enjoyment. It can't be all just work. You need to celebrate what you have. Be grateful, have gratitude. That's another one. Have gratitude. Dance. Again, if you dance, you get yourself out of things. When you're laughing, what happens? When you're laughing, then you're not holding to these dramas either. So, I will counsel people to dance or go watch a comedy. Watch some comedies for a change. Reset things. And if you can do that, celebrate. If you can go the path of least resistance, if you can look at what's causing friction and get beyond it, if you can see life as sacred, that this moment is a sacred experience for you to learn from, eventually you can become blissful, a little blissful being. Okay, blissful. So take bliss, take joy, celebrate the small things in life. You find out a lot of times if you keep a gratitude journal, and this is something I give people to do if they are depressed or they are, wound up. You have to pick 3 things a day that you are truly grateful for. That helps to reset the mind. Okay, if you can come forward in gratitude, and usually what people find, they get pretty surprised. It's not the great big huge things that happen in their life that they get grateful for. It's the small things. And one of the things I like to use is like just a cool breeze on a hot day. Okay, maybe you've gone and you gotten this ice cream cone or something, and it was just so refreshing. Or somebody said hello, or even just waved at you, or just, gave you a moment of attention or something. They went out of their way, they were graceful. whatever it is, this aids in resetting that mind into a more positive area, a more positive flow. Okay, so what did we get today? Let's break it all down. Start by being mindful. If you are mindful, you can see what the mind is full of and where it needs to be adjusted while you are in Advaita mind. Now, when you get to Advaita mind, well, that's kind of a misnomer because the mind is still in Advaita when it's in direct consciousness. You don't have all these hamster wheels going. That's gone. It's finished. It's over. You're just in that state of that calm, that quietude. Doesn't mean you can't still be a fiery being. It has nothing to do with that. Okay? But the mind itself is still quiet. That's what remains. Direct seeing from direct consciousness, rather than filled with ideations trying to, that you don't see the forest for the trees. You're quite aware at that point of what is there. Okay, so mindfulness, spiritualizing life, learn from spiritual experiences. And if you see all of life as sacred, then everything becomes a spiritual experience to learn from. Friction. Find out where the friction is. You can start to look at it, question it more deeply, sit with it. Okay, this is the path of neti, not this, not this. The path of self-discovery. Okay. Part of what Ramana was trying to get people to do. Now, he said, question, who am I? But I don't say who am I because then you get ego filter of all this drama around it. I say, what is this I? Question the seed of it. What is this I? What is constructing and holding ego? What is forming ego? What is holding that whole ideation of separation, meism in place? Okay, what is this I? So you look at this in neti. Whatever is transient, changing, cannot be the eternal is. Let me say that again. Whatever is transient and changeable is not the eternal is. And this you have to do, neti. You have to see it, to its utter depths. Pull out that root. It's not just going through like a laundry list. Okay, this chain, not it. Neti, got it. Okay, got it. No, this has to be done to the depths of being. Really, really seeing it and getting it. Or how they used to say, rocking it. You gotta rock like a rock. You gotta rock, you gotta get it. Okay? So when you see, emotions are changing, that's not the eternal source. That's not the eternal is. The body is always changing. That's most assuredly not. And that's the first thing people gravitate to. Okay? Personality changes. That's not it. The mind is changeable. That's not it. Emotions are changeable. That's not it. So you have to really, really, really look at all of these things, neti, not this, not this, not this, not this. It's like peeling away the layers of an onion until you get to the core of that emptiness, that void, which is not devoid, okay? The pregnant void, okay? You get to the pregnant void. And some people get so fearful because they think the void is like empty and without value. That's why I call it the pregnant void, because it is of value. It puts in place everything that will ever come into existence, allows it to manifest. Okay, gives it the energy to manifest. Okay, so again, when you've done that process, the path of self-discovery, uncovering, neti, not this, discovering what is this I, and more importantly, what is it not? Okay, what is that great eternal is? God. What is God? Is God? You know, and when you get to the end point and you actually are the living embodiment of what it is and what it's not, you will be quite amazed at what you find out. That's why in the end you just laugh, because it's like the great joke. But you only get the joke when you've gone through the whole of the experience, and then you get the joke. Okay. What is God? Does God exist? You know, absolutely it does and it doesn't. For God to exist, there has to be something other than that, and there is not in the end. That's the when you break everything down, that's all that exists. So yeah, no, for God to exist, there has to be something other than, and there is nothing other than. So anyway, but that's another mind bender, so to speak. And when everything is uncovered and you've run here and there to chase after it, you find out you couldn't have got away from it if you tried. So it's just like all these dramas one has gone through become revealed. The great joke is revealed. Okay. And you become very, like I said, all the baggage is left at the station. You're done. That's done. Baggage is done. The mind, revolving mind is done. All of that drama is done. And what remains is just to live life. That's why it goes from, you know, people that are in life that are pulled here and there, misery around it. And make no mistake, those of us that are gone forward to become spiritual teachers really had to go through the ringer to become a spiritual teacher. You really have to have gone through the whole of the suffering and the pain and the depression and the drama and come out the other side, or else you cannot aid others. How are you going to aid others if you could not even get out of it yourself? Okay, if you're still in it and you think you're going to be a teacher, if you can't get yourself out, how are you going to get somebody else out? Hello? Earth calling, you know, to those in the ozones. The blind leading the blind, you know. And we have a lot of those type of teachers, the blind leading the blind out there. They're in the midst of their own journey, and yet because they think they've cognized a little something, that they've got the whole package, and they really have a long way to go yet. So anyway, I don't know. This one today has taken a lot of twists and turns along the way. Oh, Mr. Salamander. The salamander, the Heyoka. He's like a Heyoka salamander because he took us on a big journey today, that's for sure. Anyway, so what came out today was kind of an overview of a path, the path of self-inquiry, self-discovery, breaking down. Once you've done that path, then you really understand, you know, especially those that are trying to work with the mind, psychologists, psychiatrists really know the mind inside and out, what it does and how it forms and how it holds and how it restricts, and really the inner workings of it. And so that's how I developed the practice and the information that I have given with some that are psychologists working with drug treatment programs, etc. They use some of the method, and it's worked very well. Okay, because it aids people to see what's in their mind and how they need to go forward in their own life. You are not telling them what they have to do. They figure it out for themselves, which is so important. It puts their healing back into their hands rather than somebody saying, you have to do this, okay. It doesn't work that way in this, in the guidance and things that I've given for that modality. Anyway, that's another thing. We're not going to get into that right now. But I hope everyone is having a wonderful Monday. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry this one was so long-winded. Maybe it's what some people are ready to hear, need to hear, ready to hear, okay, to start to move them forward in their own journey and lives. Again, if there is a reading you want to see done, a topic, or a topic you want to see discussed, please leave it in your comments, okay? And I will see you online. Aho, have a great day. Thank you.